Hello, my name is Jerry Stevens. I'm setting up today, this is it. This is the film manifesto of the Propertarian Party, an alternative to the Conservative Party, which as far as I'm concerned is dead. They're not Conservatives at all. They're all neoliberals. They're all communists in disguise. I think the entire Lib Lab Con thing in Westminster it's all Rothschilds, it's the Uniparty. They're all Marxists and marching to the same communist drumbeat of destroying England and reducing everybody to absolute poverty and taking away all our freedoms in the name of this stupid New World Order with its carbon taxes and all the rest of them rubbish, which is just all different ways to rob us and take away our freedoms. So I'm setting up the Propertarian Party, and this is going to access Kurt Doolittle's and John Mark's propertarian laws. There's only about two of them. One is for reciprocity, so like value for like value. You take away something from me, you've got to restore it, or there's no deal. And in practice there will be no deal with these people. It's really, we keep going about the American Constitution, that it should be about the life devoted to life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. But happiness is a byproduct. So really it should be life, liberty and property. Seeing property as a human right. Because without some property, nobody's got a chance at anything. You are just a slave. It's the difference between a slave and a free man is property. So I think it's a human right. I don't think it's catered for at all in any of the UN promulgations. It's not part of the Human Rights Act even in Britain. It's a glaring omission. It's just not there. All the human rights you like, and they keep giving all these human rights they've just invented, they give it to criminals, to the negative invaders. They don't give it to the English. It's deeply unfair and divisive. So I regard the law as having been prostituted by these people. And what they've done is they've negated Magna Carta, they've negated the English Constitution, they're trying to negate the American Constitution, and that's what it is. It's all an attempt to force absolutely everybody into slavery. Actual, abject slavery. That's all they want. And they cannot have it. So we've got to bring reciprocity into the law, like value for like value. Which means that the law for the first time has to think about values. And not just about the king's rights and everybody else negotiating to get a little bit back off him. So the Propertarian Party is mainly about the law, and of laws we've got to address the land laws in this country, because as the law stands now, all you're doing when you buy anything, property for example, is you're buying you're licensing the airspace above it. You haven't bought the land, and because you don't really own the land, they can go on taxing you for nothing. And that's why land is so difficult to get in this country, why it's so hugely expensive, I don't know. And 60% of the land in this country is owned by the royals. 60%? I mean, talk about greed. So we've got to get that land back and redistribute it amongst the English, because they're just not looking after their own people. And it's time they did. For example, if I was to buy my own land and go camping on it in emergency, I can't camp on it on my own land, even though I own it, for longer than 28 days. So presumably the police would just come along after a month and clear me off my own land, probably violently, for nothing, for no reason. When did they make that the law? Hundreds of little laws like this have been brought in behind our backs, so we've got no right of property in this country at all. Things like that are what get my goat. And in fact, land taxes or property taxes are all together. We've got to stop them. And so what we've got to do is change the law so that all land that is bought or inherited is alloyable. You've got to bring back the concept that we own the land as well as the airspace above it and any rights below it to some extent. If you paid all that money for it, you're entitled. So we have to address the land taxes. Because the way I've been reading the law, and the law that I've been reading is Blackstone, who sets forth the law as it stood in 1760. So what he says is that the only person who's got any rights in this country as a free man, a free Englishman, is the king. And all history is little attempts by the law to control his power. But he's our representative. In a way, he is the Englishman. But if you look, we are all Englishmen. We all have those rights. We all have those powers. He has stolen what is ours, as his ancestors did before he did. So we have got to fight back. Now, it's not just against the king and his grandiose plans to kill us all off, basically, to save his trees. But communism does the same thing. Communism is the great enemy in this country. Communism will reduce us all to ciphers. You're not even a serf, you're a cipher. And it's made great inroads into doing that and to reducing us literally to cattle. I don't think the cases intend to eat us all or what, because this is what they're doing. So communism is one enemy and the king is the other. I don't intend to pay any carbon taxes. I think the whole thing's nonsense. Carbon is the molecule of life, and everybody should know this except the death depopulation brigade. They never know anything. And he's just not getting his white genocide, he's not getting his depopulation, he's not getting any carbon taxes either. So the Lib Lab Con parties are all one party. The whole thing is a scam. All the elections are rigged. It's all, the candidate lists are all packed with members of this group. And it's all in the pay of Rothschild, who is begging himself to do this. You know, he can't have much left of all his trillions. And nobody should vote for them anymore. Just stop voting altogether if you've got any sense, because by black magic you give away your power, and they then do just whatever they like, and you're the mug, aren't you, dear? So we have to stop doing that, but it's an idea that's time has not yet come. So I suggest I'm going to form this propertarian party. It's going to stay outside of the political ring for now, just to gather strength and study the subject, the problem in front of us, and get people together to at least talk about my ideas. It's a haven. It's a safe haven, and it will apply pressure on various bods, just like a pressure group does, but it won't itself get in the boxing ring, because at the moment it consists of me. I can't do it. So the manifesto is to amend property rights, to redistribute the land, to house the English in England first, to rearm the white population. We're the population that's being replaced and killed off. The NHS is just one vast death camp. All they do there is kill off white people. It's been going on for 30 years and we were all blind and deaf to it, but now I've woken up. So to rearm the whites and to stop them drinking tea, because I just found out that sodium fluoride, which is what they used to dust tea leaves with, it dumbs people down and makes them passive. It was discovered in the Second World War by the Nazis to make the population passive. Of course, this is why the English have done nothing about anything for 40 years, is they're absolutely sedated out of their minds. And the culprit is tea. It is tea. We all drink gallons of tea every day because we've been destroying our pineal glands and rendering ourselves so many sheep. So we need to rearm the whites, stop them drinking tea, sort out the banks and the economy, because the enemy, whether it's the king or the communists, is basically using the banks to destroy the rest of us. And it is the banks who are doing all this to us, and basically they're a very small group of absolute malevolent aliens of some kind. So we need to sort them out, if that means hanging a few of them. Well, tough. And to get the economy back onto track, simply reverse all these stupid mandates. A mandate isn't a law. A mandate is a strong suggestion with a fist waving behind it. That's what a mandate is. It's not the law. Nobody had to do any of it, but we didn't know. We are black magicked by the hypnosis of the law. We're always going to obey a law. If we can't obey the bloody king, we'll obey the bloody law. We've got to stop being so obedient. Freedom is not to be obedient. Freedom is the opposite, to stand on your own 2 feet and do your thing. So basically they've effectively destroyed Magna Carta and the English Constitution. They've absolutely raped it, and we have to restore both of them. And we need either to reinstate the English Constitution, or we need a new Magna Carta. So we need to restart the law as it stood about 1760. Just restart it at 1760, just throw out all the EU rubbish, all these nasty little things they've inserted in the law to make us all slaves and animals and even monsters. That's what the law calls us. They call us monsters. Somebody's asking for a slap. So we need to restart the law about 1760, which gives us all back all the rights of Englishmen, all the English. And it is a question of England for the English. So it disenfranchises certain groups who don't bring nothing but divisive, and it gets rid of the worst of them, because under those laws they're not even welcome in this country. None of them. And so I close this film. That's my manifesto. That's what it's all about. It's the law. We're going to fight about the law. And we need to get rid of the negative invaders. And we need to, well, hang the malevolent lesbians, who are all really Marxists, forcing their filth and muck on the rest of us because they feel bad. Oh dear. So we need to do this. This is the Propertarian Party. My name is Jerry Stevens, and we have begun.